autistic people out there looking back at their childhood with like different pair of eyes. Hi, I'm Ghoul. I'm diagnosed ADHD and definitely on the spectrum, and I'm 34 years old. So, looking back on my life now, and grew up, in a house. It was physically abusive up until a certain point, and then it was just very verbally abusive. Physical abuse was still present, but not nearly as much when we got a little older, but it was still used like to discipline and to control us. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. Dad was used as, oh, you're gonna get it when you get in trouble, like, or you're gonna get in trouble when dad gets home, you're gonna get it, like, that's it, or I'm gonna tell dad you better start behaving, or so, it was used very much to control us. And then they were very anti-doctors. And I look back now and I'm realizing that again was probably a control thing as well. I think formed a lot of, reason why I can make eye contact, no problem. I can sit and have a conversation. I can small town chatter back and forth because, unfortunately, like when I say my dad was abusive, like he was abusive to everybody in the home. So he was abusing my mom. So he did have my mom coached on how to exist outside of the house. She knew how to maintain a conversation. I don't know. I definitely think that my father's on the spectrum and was abused a lot. But like I grew up in the 90s. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have like easy communication for us to like be able to find people with common things. And they had a really horrible, weird view of autism that even I had to unlearn. Like there's so many things you have to unlearn, and that was one of them that was difficult for me. But like I look back at like elementary school alone, and like I was the oldest and was very good at like playing with the other kids, and my mom would like talk about how great how social Ghoul is. Oh my gosh, Ghoul is so social. And I remember that being like a highlight of things. Like even in like my report cards, I look back now and I see it like written down, and I'm just like, why is me being social like such a highlight of everything? And then I was in speech therapy. I was in speech therapy for a long time. I was in speech therapy from like kindergarten to fourth grade. My mom was room mom, okay? So, room mom, if you don't know what that is, I don't know if that's still around, but my mom would basically come in and she would help with like certain projects that just required, like play or like just something that just like teachers have some help. So mom would volunteer to like go in. My mom never ever dared to do like head room mom, but she was always room mom, and she always joined one of our classes. We were very fortunate and so lucky for that. And all the teachers knew her, all the kids knew and loved her. She would bake homemade stuff like for all this like Christmas parties and for birth, like she went all out. She knew everybody. That was when I realized that like she was just making sure I was getting invited to all the kid parties and to all the kid events and all the things. Like I remember going to kids' birthdays and like this person is not nice to me. This person is a bull. This person is mean to me. I don't know why I'm here, but hey, I'm here. And like even at like all the parties and at like the slumber parties, like I would be off playing with like the animal, or I'd be like playing um playing video games with one of the siblings. My mom was pushing me to be invited to these like slumber parties, and like nobody wanted me there. I'd stay up the last one just to make sure that I could get all the things that the girls did that were mean to the girls like me that were like forced to be invited. Like I would take the bra out of the freezer, I would take your hand out of the cup, um, and then I would go to bed. And like yeah, I don't know. It's just silly looking back on all that now. Gosh, I remember in sixth grade, that like last special recess that's like even longer so that everybody can like sign your yearbooks and stuff and all these things, and you're saying goodbye to the sixth, and I was finally like a sixth grader. I'm sitting there and I'm just like watching all the kids. I'm watching everybody and nobody's approaching me. Nobody cares. Like And that's, like that's absolutely fine. I was a very annoying child. But like these people that would be paired up that, were paired up at the slumber party or just have always been paired up. Like I remember thinking like, why can't I be like that? Why can't I have that? Why don't I understand how to like actually maintain going back and forth? So yeah, I was bullied a lot. And then I was even more bullied in middle school and high school until I found AV, and I would just hide in AV editing and working on things and burying myself in the special interests that I had begged. Like computers were my favorite ever. I was only allowed to play the computer. My grandparents got me a computer for schoolwork, and I was only allowed to play games on it for like an hour a day, and that was so difficult because what can you get done in Sims in an hour? Like loading times alone on that fucking PC were like at least 15-20 minutes. Like you do not get a lot done in Sims, especially without cheats. Like once I discovered the money cheat, it got a little better. But like 1 hour a day is nothing. Nothing. And then I would try to sneak downstairs to go on the internet to like put my pictures on MySpace from this fucking, oh my god, from a floppy disk camera. So the floppy disk camera, one of floppy disk is just loud. It just is loud when it's being read. It's ridiculous. But even if I was going on the internet at the time, it was dial up. So it'd be like, and then like my parents are asleep, so I'd just be sitting there with the screen off, just like, please don't wake up, please don't wake up, please don't wake up. And like that was my yeah. Very, very scared of my dad, and thanks to him I was able to like, I don't know, customer service voice and like have back and forth with people and have small conversations and like understand like the nod when you're driving, or like whatever, like, the nod of acknowledgement. And like he was just super autistic and figured out how to exist. And like he wore earplugs all the time. Like I just learned about how much easier my life is with earplugs. Like, oh my gosh, like I want to find, like I can't handle things on my head, like headphones. That's why I don't wear a lot of headphones. I can't handle them for very long, and like it gives me a headache. I can't wear my hair in a ponytail either. It's too much. Um, but earplugs are wow. I liked the things I liked as a kid that I like now. Like I begged for a video camera. We stayed at my aunt's and uncle's for a couple months once, and they had a video camera, and I loved running around just filming little things. And like I didn't know how to edit at that point, so I was filming stuff in order. And like I've always that, like when I got into high school, that was my special interest. Like my dad really forced sports upon us because he didn't want us to get made fun of. It's crazy that like everything was just sensory overloads. Like I was so dramatic and emotional and all of these things that would be teased to me. Like my first bully was my dad. I don't know. I was constantly teased and ridiculed to like not like the things I like and not be the way I was. And I'm exactly who I am, and I'm still exactly who I am. I'm just really good at this now.